welcome to Crunch Time on Fitv. I am Nelly Ugobi. Now the headlines. ECOWAS president commits to strategic partnership in Kiev. On Ethiopia war, all sides in Tigray war guilty of crimes, says Amnesty International. On the Germany-France tension, Macron and Scholz hold talks to find truce. Syria reports Israeli airstrike on Damascus area targets. And in sport, Cristiano Ronaldo speaks after reintegration into the Manchester United first team. Now the news in detail. President Sissoko Embalo of Guinea-Bissau met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky the day after visiting Russia, where he also had a meeting with President Vladimir Putin, making him the first African leader to travel to Kiev since the beginning of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Mr. Embalo said Africa carries peace and wants to bring together the two brotherly countries. Volodymyr Zelensky, president of Ukraine, said that as of today, Russia is blocking 170 ships with grain for African and Asian countries. He assured that he would ask the Russian president to release the more than 165 blocked ships near the Bosporus Straits. Rights group Amnesty International has called for a probe into abuses in the Ethiopia-Tigray conflict, saying every party involved in the war in northern Tigray has committed crimes against humanity. The consultations in Pretoria, led by the African Union, come after a recent spike in ferocious fighting that has startled the international community and raised concerns for civilians caught in the crossfire. The meetings are taking place at the offices of South Africa's Foreign Affairs Ministry. AFP journalists captured Olusegun Obasanjo, the principal facilitator of the discussions and the AU Horn of Africa ambassador, as he arrived at the location on Wednesday morning. Obasanjo is a former president of Nigeria. Uhuru Kenyatta, a former president of Kenya, who is a member of the mediation team, and Phumzile Mlambo Nguka, a former vice president of South Africa, were both seen entering the building. French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed German Chancellor Olaf Scholz for lunch in an effort to reduce disagreement on energy and defense and revitalize the crucial defense and security partnership of the European Union. The essential duopoly of the EU needs to be revitalized while also reducing disparities between the two leaders on issues of energy and defense. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, which occurred less than 3 months after Scholz assumed office last December, tensions have risen on both sides due to the crisis measures that were made as a result of the war and its after effects. According to the US Secretary of State, China has put pressure on Taiwan, including the potential for using force to further its objectives. He asserted that although Washington did not seek to control China and did not want a Cold War, it would steadfastly defend its interests. Moving to Syria now, according to Syria, Friday and Monday's missile attacks were followed by airstrikes on locations close to the capital, Damascus. Israeli airstrikes have reportedly hit sites close to Damascus, the capital of Syria, making this the third such attack in a week, according to the Syrian state media. The Syrian military said Israeli missiles were fired in the early hours of Thursday morning at sites near Damascus, and that air defenses had confronted the missile aggression and downed most of them. There were no casualties reported. Moving on to sports, before Manchester United's match against Sheriff Tiraspol, Cristiano Ronaldo looked to send Erik ten Hag a subtly worded message. Following fruitful discussions with his manager, the Portuguese superstar is in the running to be named for the match. Since leaving the Tottenham game before the end, Ronaldo has had a turbulent week. In the caption, it read, "Back on track with the same commitment and dedication as always." One has to admire the level of professionalism exhibited by Ronaldo amid a torrid spell that has left his critics wondering whether his legacy as a football player would be tarnished because of the off-pitch drama. And that's it on the news. Thank you for tuning in. I am Nelly Ugobi.